The aesthetic wave. What exactly is that? Well, hello, and good morning, everyone. Uh, it is 7 a.m. and today is the 1st of June. Can't believe it. The 1st of June, we're halfway through the year already, and looking forward to the rest of it. I'm hope you all had a good weekend. I know a lot of people had that long weekend, but it really is a weekend of remembrance of those who gave up their lives for our freedom, and that's really the main issue of what this is all about, right? So yes, I wanted to just acknowledge all the all those that have fallen for us and those that are serving today, and God bless them and may they be safe. Okay, so I wanted to this is gonna be a two-parter, but I'm gonna do this today and tomorrow because I realize I have way too much to cover in one day. And I tend to do these things sometimes between 23 and 28, 30 minutes tops. And sometimes I have to rush through things because I don't have enough time or I don't want to go long. And then I just thought, I'll just do another day or go longer, whatever. I don't know. It's early. I'm here. We're here. Somebody's here out there, hopefully. And we're going to be having a conversation about aesthetic wave. And what exactly is that, right? Well, let me give you the definition of aesthetic. Right now, an aesthetic is relating to philosophy concerning with the beauty of things, right? The beauty and the ugly of things, right? So something can be very aesthetic, meaning beautiful, an aesthetic sunset, right? It can relate also to the science of aesthetics concerning with the study of the mind, emotions, and relating to the sense of beauty. Okay. Um, it could also be philosophy of a theory of a set of principles governing the idea of beauty at any given time or place. So, like a cleansed place, a beautiful place, uh, clean lines, very sleek, can be very aesthetic looking when you look at something like that. So you can look at a smooth rock, that water has passed over for a million years, and now the rock is smooth. It looks very aesthetic as well, right? So artists, now an aesthetic wave, right? What's a wave, right? Well, a wave is anything that starts somewhere and emanates some energy towards another location, right? So you have the wave, sound waves. My voice right now is going through this microphone and out into your microphones and into your ear. Those are waves, right? The the sun beaming down that energy on us, right? These are waves, right? Heat waves, right? You can see the heat waves sometimes, right? When you get into certain areas and the conditions are right, you can actually see the heat waves, right? And so those are waves, right? So an aesthetic wave, put those two things together, now you have creating beauty, something beautiful, um, and then creating a wave based on that beauty. So what does an artist do? Well, an artist creates aesthetic waves. An artist operates on this aesthetic wave, right? And this aesthetic wave is very unique to the artist. Now, anyone can approach the aesthetic wave, right? Anybody can be creative and feel that creative energy, right? But artists generally, the ones that are out there just producing and creating and thinking, kind of live in that area. They live in this aesthetic wave where they're constantly creating a beautiful thing. Not all artists create beauty, by the way. You can have an artist create something that is rather degraded. You can see that in popular music today, right? When they're talking about filthy sex stuff and things like that. That's my own opinion, right? That's I'm sure some people think that's a beautiful aesthetic wave, which is all fine on them. For me personally, I don't find that filth an aesthetic. It is an aesthetic. Well, it is a create, right? But it doesn't have my aesthetics that I enjoy on it, right? Somebody else might enjoy it. They want to hear only songs about a woman's private parts. That's all that's on their playlist. Their Spotify lists all have about the moisture of a woman's lower parts, and they are totally satisfied with this, and that's what they like. Fine. Personally, I think that it's filth and it's not that good. Okay, so but an artist operates on this aesthetic wave. So what I wanted to talk about today was I wanted to sort of what is that thing, right? How can we live in that area? How can we understand it? And how can we constantly create at a level that's going to impact others with that positive. So I think for me it's positive. Like the aesthetic wave has to contain some type of positivity that makes things better into the future, right? It provides a future there, right? The artist generates a future sometimes for a lot of people, right? um you know Jay-Z wears a hat like this, you know what I mean? And a million people are going to be inspired by that because Jay-Z is very influential and they're going to wear their hat like that. Um, you know, you can, Michael Jackson when he had the one glove, right? It inspired a lot of people to just wear the one glove, right? And do the moonwalk and all that stuff, right? That's that aesthetic energy that they put out. They inspire, they create a future for you, right? They build civilizations based on their creativity. And so generally a lot of them generally is positive, right? I mean, we're talking about positivity here and things that are making the world better in the future. That's how I look at art to begin with. Is it making the world better for a future, or is it making it worse? So if you look at some of the things that we were talking about earlier with the music, if a piece of music, a band or a writer or songwriter, singer songwriter, somebody listens to it and feels good, and they want to be better people. I like that type of aesthetic, right? Now, if you have something that's like I mentioned earlier about like the song of the year this year was a song about a woman's vagina, right? I don't see how that goes into the future to make things better other than inspire other young ladies to want to go that route and guys to be just focused on that as the most important thing of a woman, right? So I don't find that as a good future thing. Is it an aesthetic? I don't know. I'm not. I could only give you my viewpoints on what I think is an aesthetic and what makes me feel good and what I would be proud for my kids to grow up. And obviously, I'm an actor, so I've played roles that are rough characters, right? So I don't want to be hypocritical here. I've played crazy people. I've played people that have immoral values, and that's an aesthetic as well, right? It's a story, it's communicating. It usually never ends well for the characters anyway. But that type of aesthetic, I would be proud for anybody to watch anything that I've ever done because it's still in the vein of wanting to make the future a better place, right? So let's talk a little bit about what exactly I mean, when we're talking about to attract a positive energy. and to raise vibrations, right? Because the vibrations are really what resonates, right? It's that vibration that kind of goes out. It's when you hear a piece of music or you watch a film that makes you go, wow, man, oh my gosh, that was incredible. That energy, that is a wave, that hits you in a way, and people say it, right? They say, wow, that really hit me hard, right? They say it. They know exactly what they're feeling because it hit them, and it was a wave that hit them, whether it was an emotional aesthetic wave or wherever the wave lands. It was a creative wave. It was done with a creative from a creative source, right? Usually an artist or an artist. That's what they do, right? um okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is positive thoughts, right? When you're thinking positive thoughts, you're going to pull in more positive thoughts and more positive things. If you go negative, you pull in negative, and you see this with people that I know where they're constantly thinking, well, with my luck. You ever heard people say that? They're like, yeah, I mean, hopefully I get there, but with my luck, it'll be raining, or with my luck, it'll be. Well, you just basically sabotaged your own future. You sabotage your own ability to succeed in whatever it is that you're talking about. You don't even give yourself a chance. Um, and then some people also think about the past. They think about, yeah, well, I hope it happens because last time, well, last time. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with now, right? Because we are living a linear life, that one moment to the next, one moment to the next. We have to stay in the present. Everything from here to the forward can be of your own creation. Everything from here to the back, you cannot control. It happened, it's done. Give it up. It's not going to affect you. You can learn from it. Learning from it is completely different than thinking or putting it there that it's going to actually happen again in the future, right? Two completely different things. One will destroy you, one will actually educate you so you make better decisions in the future. So, also surround yourself with positive energy objects, meaning things that make you happy. So, for instance, I have things that make me happy. My coffee mug. It may sound silly, but that to me is a very positive thing. And I can create more aesthetics. As a matter of fact, my mug is from my show that I do on Tuesday nights, tonight actually, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I don't know why I'm grabbing my boob like this. Like, I just talked about how inappropriate this was, but yet I'm doing it here at 7 a.m. So, my show tonight, this is very aesthetic. I designed this logo myself, and it's an aesthetic wave, so that makes me happy when I see that. My hat. This was given to me by someone who unfortunately passed away during COVID. Um, and she gave it to me as a gift. She said, I think this hat will look good on you. I took it, I shaped it to my head, and I said, hey, it's kind of cool. I'm not really a cowboy yet. I will be, but not yet. But I thought, hey, why not? And here it is. Aesthetics. My guitar is standing right here. I'm looking right at it. It's a beautiful Telecaster, and I'm looking at it, a Fender Telecaster, and I love it. Aesthetic. So keep things around you. Surround yourself with those positive energy objects and things that will make you happy. Also, align yourself with energy of love, right? This is going to sound corny, right? But energy of love. So if you surround yourself with the idea of love and not fear, right? Because what happens is that we end up having fear, doubt, worry, and these things are just the cancer of the future, right? These things create nothing but problems. When you're worried, when you're concerned, when you're in fear of of making a decision, you you suddenly really find yourself in a place where moving forward is so hard. Trying to get things to happen has become so hard. So you have to be able to live within love, and just say, you know what? I love myself. I love my opportunities. I even love the mistakes I've made because they've made me grow and become a better person. Okay? So live in that area of love. So you surround yourself, right? Your thoughts will affect your future, right? So think of positive thoughts and things that you want to bring in. So if you start paying attention to your thoughts, and when they're negative, don't indulge in them. Like you see something, you have a negative thought, you're just like, just let them pass by. Don't feed the negative energy, right? Then you surround yourself with beautiful things that make you happy, things that are positive. And then align the energy with love and not fear, not worry, not hope. Okay. The next one is imagine and feel into your future self now. So, you can, people talk about this all the time, right? There's different methods and people talk about it. I use the word postulate, which means that you make a decision for something to happen into the future. You decide, you put a postulate there, you postulate that you're going to have certain things in the future, right? Um, you can decide to have bad things. You can decide from past experiences that your future is going to be the same thing because in the past it's happened. You could also have been hurt by people and think that people in the future are going to treat you the same way that you were treated in the past. So now you're stuck with this loop of like constantly being creating a future for yourself that's the one that you don't want because you think that that happened in the past, so it's going to happen again, and blah blah, and that's where you get stuck, right? So instead of going that way, imagine the future that you want. And how do you do that? First of all, you decide. You say, you know what, I'm gonna get exactly what I want. I want to get uh I'm gonna get another career, another musical opportunity for myself, right? Because I played music for a long time and then I stopped, right? I want to keep playing. I want to play. I still can play. I still have my dexterity of my fingers. I can still play, and I'm getting better and better. I'm gonna keep playing, and I'm looking that into my future. That's what I want. No matter what happened in the past, that's what I want. I'm focusing on that thing that I want, right? That's a decision that you make, right? Now you can close your eyes. People talk about visualization. Well, that's a thing that actually works. If you really close your eyes and you visualize yourself, I could see myself on stage again with a band performing original material, which is what I really love to do. Hearing the audience, smelling the bar, the location, drinking the water on stage as I play, and in heading into a middle of a solo, going in there. All those things are things I'm really putting into. I'm visualizing and seeing myself accomplish, right? But I'm deciding first that that's what I want, and then I'm putting myself into that future. I'm creating that future for myself. Okay. The next one is be grateful. Have an attitude of gratitude, right, for everything in life. And I talk about this, and I talked about it last weekend on one of the shows where you know I look around at my current situation right now, and I'm looking at like, oh, I made it. I compared to where I was, or where I was born into, to where I am, I'm very successful. And I've only scratched the surface of the success I'm gonna reach. You know what I mean? But I'm I grew up in the South Bronx with there was drugs around, there was violence. um it was scary. It was scary to sometimes. But I was able to see what I wanted in the future. Even back then when I was younger, I kind of knew what I'm talking about now, except now I have more specific actual tools that actually prove are workable. That But I knew innately that this is what I wanted, and I knew, I visualized into the future that these are the things that I wanted. And I wanted to get out of the area because I wanted to play music, not because I didn't like the Bronx. I love the Bronx, but what I wanted to accomplish did not serve me where I was. I wanted to play music that was rock and roll music that was in New York City. you know I wanted to play the blues. I wanted to play, alternative music, which was the thing, right? And I wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to do that. Well, I couldn't do that in the Bronx. I had to get myself somewhere, and I just visualized myself. I just kept thinking that's where I'm going to be, and that's where I was. I lived in since my mid 20s. I've been in New York City, and now I'm in Jersey. But I was there for many years, playing and doing and living something that I didn't think I could do, but I did it. I was there. I did it. Um, and that was because I was extremely grateful for the opportunities that I had. And I live in gratitude. I am so grateful right now for just what I have, and do I want more? Oh, yes. There's nothing wrong with wanting a lot more. You can want a lot more. Be grateful for what you have and reach for better. Do better, because you know what? When you do better, you can help more people. You can actually donate to more charities. You can create foundations. You can create a scholarship program for a school. When you actually doing more, when you have more, and when you reach for more, you can do more. You can help more people. So think of it as that way. When people tell you, "Well, just be grateful for what you have, and don't try to reach for more." That's BS. No, you go out and you get as much as you want. You go out and you get it, because you can help more people. But be grateful for what you have. I'm extremely grateful for what I have right now. I have a nice place to live. I have beautiful children. I have a beautiful wife who still puts up with me, even though I'm a little bit off the rocker sometimes, but she does. And I'm extremely grateful for that. I have a nice guitar. I got my computers. I got lights. I got cameras. I got all the stuff I need. I'm extremely grateful. And from that foundation of being grateful, I'm going to build way more, and I'm going to help a lot of people. And that's what I'm interested in doing. All right. The last one now is be loving, compassionate, and kind. So, when you're operating on a daily basis, being having love, being compassionate, and being kind does not mean to be a pushover, right? It doesn't mean that you don't communicate what you want to say. If someone is actually giving you something that you disagree with, or is being a kind of a jerk, it's okay to put that person in their place. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit back and just be quiet. um, I don't like to argue with people that really have no insight um into things. I don't like to go into it, especially when there's closed-minded people, right? So I'd rather not have that conversation, right? But if someone is being completely disrespectful, I will put them in their place. I will tell them, listen, that's not okay with me, right? But I operate with love, compassion, and kindness every single day. Whoever, even whether I'm with my kids all day and I don't even go outside, especially the last year when we didn't go outside much, I always showed those three things to my children, to my wife, to my close friends. But yes, if I disagreed with something, I would actually make a comment of it, because I think it's important to really be honest with yourself and to communicate those things. Um, all right, so that was number 6, and there's 6 more that I'm gonna cover tomorrow. This is gonna be part 1 of this. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna name it part 1. I'm gonna go back and change the name of this one. This will be part 1, and then tomorrow I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna wrap up this conversation about the aesthetic wave and what are the things that you should look for in order to operate more on that aesthetic wave, because it's a wonderful place to be when you're there, consistently. You just feel joyous, you feel rejuvenated, you feel young, you feel energetic, you feel like you can take on the world and you can help more people. And helping people is really the whole purpose of what we should all be doing, right? Is to help others, those that are unfortunate. I'm not talking about handouts, I'm not talking about charity work, right? I'm talking about, although that comes part of it as well, but I'm talking about the wholeness of it. I'm talking about helping people with love, compassion, and kindness. Okay, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I will be back tomorrow for part 2 of this talk, and tomorrow we will wrap up this conversation. Maybe we'll go 3. No, I think tomorrow is it. There's 6 more points that I want to give you. The 6 that I gave you today are really important. Write them down and operate with them. Just operate with those just for the day today. just for today. See how that works for you, and then report back to me. Send me an email at johnhenrysoto@protonmail.com, or anywhere that you see this video. There's a way of messaging me. Just message me. I would love to hear from you. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Make today great. Do the things that you love. Take care of yourselves. And as always, peace.